on, guys? Jay Michaels here from Pixel Enemy, and I'm here with DJ Powers from Steam. Today we just got a chance to check out Portal 2. We got a playthrough of about 3 or 4 different puzzles. The first thing I have to say is the comedy and the writing is back, and it's the first thing that really hit me. What were your intentions with that, and where did you guys start to bring in the humor and the comedy and stuff like that?
Comedy's always been a big part of Portal. Portal 1, although it was a smaller experience, was hilarious if you played it. You know, Gladys was amazing, and it's a big part of this game and this story. And so we wanted to expand on that, bring in new personalities that could add to the comedy, and obviously, you know, Gladys may or may not be back, but she's funny.
So how many people do you have as far as writers that are writing this stuff? Like, do you have a dedicated team outside of Valve, or like are these some of the guys that are actually working on the game that are contributing to this?
These guys are part of the Valve team. It's a group of 3 that are the writers. It's Eric Wolpaw, Chet Falasek, who are pretty famous in the industry, and Jay Pinkerton, who's also pretty famous in the industry. And these guys wrote Left 4 Dead, they wrote Portal 1, they're writing Portal 2. They're brilliant. They really are. They're brilliant. They're funny. They're funny in their own, personal lives, and they're really funny when they start writing. Yeah,
these guys are really, really good. The other thing that I think struck us while we were going through this was the sound design in the game, and the new narrator that we have here, and just also can you talk about like some of the music and stuff that we hear in the background as well?
Sure. So the personality sphere, we call them, that leads you through the part of the game that you saw today is called Wheatley. New character that was added. There'll be a couple of those in the game, and they're there to act as guides through certain parts of the experience. And Wheatley is actually played by Stephen Merchant from the old the British Office. So he's kind of a comedian in his own right, and adds a cool new slant, new voice to the game. In terms of music, Still Alive was such a big part of the first experience, and why that song took off kind of on its own, right? It became a whole thing of its own, and so we knew that music was important to Portal, and we wanted to expand on that. So you saw a little bit of it in this build here, and we've sprinkled music in new ways, new clever ways to kind of make it fun.
I think one of the only complaints about the original Portal was the length of it, and it was understandable. It kind of was like a side project that you guys included in Orange Box. This time around, you guys are going for the full boat, its own release. Can you talk a little bit about like the length of the game, or the emphasis on story this time around?
Sure. So Portal 1 was a 4-hour experience, or however long it took you to get through, but it was smaller, and it was meant to be that way. It was, as you said, it was part of the Orange Box. It was our first foray into this kind of genre, and we weren't sure what to expect from it, so it was more of a basic set of story that was not intended to be super long. It took off, it was a big hit, cult following, and we knew that we had to expand on it and bring out everything that we had in our arsenal. And so Portal 2 has a ton of new game mechanics that were not introduced in the first one. You saw the aerial faith plate today. There's a bunch of gels that help you interact with the environment differently. And then there's also a bunch of new humor and new personalities that we talked about as well. So in this game, there's the single-player experience, which similar to Portal 1, but a new story, and it's 6 to 8 hours, so it's about twice as long as the original game. And then there's a co-op as well, which is a whole new aspect of this game, and 4 portals to work with, gives you all kinds of different stuff to do. And that is also 6 to 8 hours, and it's not just playing the single-player levels over again. It's a whole new experience, a different story that's woven in with the single-player story. So if you add those two together, you're looking at 12 to 16 hours of gameplay.
With the multiplayer, we've seen some examples of it online. There's a few trailers out there and some gameplays. Puzzles for just yourself are mind-boggling enough. When these guys sat down to create these puzzles now with 4 portals, the faith plates, the bounce gel that you guys, all that kind of stuff, how long did it take them to come up with some of these puzzles and to make them work?
Well, they were able to let their imaginations run wild, right? I mean, you have 4 portals now to work with and all these new mechanics. How long did it take them? I'm not sure exactly the right answer to that. Some of them took a long time to recreate. Some of them they probably had in their back pocket from the first one. But needless to say, they're very challenging. It'll take both of you working at full capacity to figure out what's going on.
And can you touch upon a little bit about Steamworks, what that means for the guys on the consoles that might not know about it on Steam?
Sure. So we're going to be on Sony for the first time really ever for PS3. So we're really excited about that. We're excited to bring it to a new console. And part of that is putting Steamworks in that PS3 version. And when we announced it, we were a little vague because we didn't know exactly what that meant yet, but we've nailed down most of it. And so what we're going to have is you're going to be able to cross-play. So if you're playing on PS3, I can play on PC, and we can play together. You can use cloud to save your game on the PS3 and then pick it up on the PC later and then go back and forth so that you don't lose progress. And then also, if you buy the game on the PS3, if you buy that retail box, you'll get a Steam code for a free copy on PC. So you end up with the game on 2 platforms.
What about Mac?
It's on Mac as well, absolutely.
So the code that comes with the PS3 version will be, you can download a Mac version basically if you wanted to.
Yeah. On Steam, it'll be what we call Steam Play, so it's cross-functionality between the PC and the Mac.
And when's the game looking to come out?
April 19th, the game releases, PC, 360, PS3, and Mac.
All right, well, DJ, thank you for your time. I'm Jay Michaels from Pixel Enemy, and we'll see you guys next time.
But I think we can put our differences behind us. For science, you monster.